Okay, so we have been discussing about the geographical limits of Ethiopian realm. Then we also seen the physical features of Ethiopian realm. Now, what is remaining is about the sub-regions of Ethiopian realm. Here you can find the major sub-regions of Ethiopian realm. One is East African sub-region. Now, coming to the East African sub-region, you can see that it include basically tropical Africa and tropical Arabia. So this is the East African sub-region, this portion. This is here the Arabian Peninsula is coming here. So a little portion of Arabia and this area is actually coming under the East African sub-region. So that is the part of Africa known as the East African sub-region. Then similarly there is West African sub-region, which is the western part of Africa, up to Congo. Here you can see up to Congo. Now if you look at the West African sub-region, see these are the West African sub-region. Now if you look at the map also you can see that these are the West African sub-region. Here you can see Niger, Benin, Congo, up to this region, this belt, up to Congo river we are considering in the West African sub-region. Here you can see if you look at the geographical map, you can see that many countries are there, Cameroon, Nigeria, Gabon, Congo, then Central Republic, Central African Republic, Burkina Faso, or Ghana. So all these countries will be coming under the West African sub-region. Then there is two more sub-regions which are South African sub-region. That is the southern part of Africa. This is the South Africa, and this region, as I told you in the last class, it is completely different from rest of Africa because it has a Mediterranean climate, and that is one reason why Europeans are still living there, because of a climate very much similar to the climate they are finding in European region. So that is the reason why they have chosen South Africa as their home place. Now another is the Malagasy sub-region. Malagasy, what is the name of which island is known as Malagasy? Madagascar. Here you can see that Madagascar, Mauritius, Seychelles, and these are the and many neighboring islands are also there. And these are the here you can see this is the Malagasy or Madagascar. Then near to it you can find Mauritius is there. Here you can say this is the Mauritius is there. Then Seychelles is there. Then similarly Chango, Comoros islands are there. Then Reunion Islands. So many small islands are present in this region. And in many of these islands like Mauritius, a lot of Indians are there. Mauritius is basically, if you go to Mauritius, it's like going to another India. So basically mostly Indian people are living in Mauritius, but along with Indian, a lot of French culture is also there in Mauritius. So in the case of these islands, you can see these islands are placed in a separate sub-region because they are away from African mainland. That is the reason why they are being kept as a separate sub-region known by the name Malagasy sub-region. Malagasy was the former name of Madagascar. Now it is known by the name Madagascar. There is, but in when kind of classification comes, sometimes the older name always comes. So that is why Madagascar, Mauritius, Seychelles and neighboring islands are coming under the Malagasy sub-region. So going to the Ethiopian sub-region, you can see that there are four sub-regions: East African, West African and South African, as well as then normally one mistake that you can East African is there, West African is there, no South African is there. Then you will be tempted to hit North African. There is no North African sub-region, and you don't need to make one North African sub-region. Only Malagasy sub-region. So East, West, South and Malagasy. There is no North African sub-region. It is a common mistake students usually make. Then here you can find the different type of primates that you are seeing in South African sub-region. Now, one interesting thing about the lemur of the Madagascar is that the Madagascar is a region with a lot of primitive primates, and lemur is one of the primitive primates that you can find in Madagascar because many of the primates that had disappeared in Africa. Here you can see that until around 160 million years ago, Madagascar was attached to the African mainland as a part of supercontinent called Gondwana. So this connection between Madagascar and Africa disappeared around 160 million years back. Until then, there was a connection between Africa as well as Madagascar. And the first lemur-like primates, sometimes they will be also pronounced as lemur, which way you can. So first lemur-like primates on the fossil record appeared roughly 60 million years ago in African mainland and crossed over to Madagascar shortly after. So the first primates of lemur, they appeared in Africa around 60 million years back. Now monkeys appeared in Africa 17 to 23 million years ago, and Madagascar was isolated from there. So one important thing is that you can find it in Madagascar is that these lemurs are very primitive type of monkeys. It's similar to primates, but there are not so many lemurs in Africa. The reason is that when modern monkeys appeared or came to Africa in around 17 to 23 million years ago, they had competed with older monkeys like lemur, and most of them have perished or destroyed, have been killed or either destroyed. So that is why in Africa we are not seeing many older monkeys like lemur, whereas Madagascar disconnected from Africa around 160 million years back, and that is the reason why today in Madagascar still there is a lot of primates are there, especially older primates are there, and they are still surviving because they are separate from Africa and there are no competition for these primitive monkeys from the modern monkeys of Africa. So here you can see that this is how the separation of Africa and Madagascar has taken place. You can see the South America and Africa were once together. Then the India got separated, and this island is known as Madagascar. Earlier, Madagascar was between South Africa and India. See, this portion is known as Madagascar. Now, 160 million years ago, this separation gradually started. Now, 135 million years ago, the Madagascar was still united with India. Then, even 100 years ago, Madagascar was still united with India. India and Madagascar was moving like an island. Then the separation between India and Madagascar took place around 88 million years ago. So why this is so much importance is that if you are studying the animal fauna, animal diversity of any region, for example, I am working on spider, we can find a lot of similarity between Indian spiders as well as African spiders. So the reason is that they were together for a long time. So that is the reason why the fauna of Madagascar and fauna of India has some similarity. Especially this similarity will be more prominent in case of lower animals like insect as well as spiders. But if you go to higher animals also, some similarity may be exists. But Madagascar is a very smaller, they say an island, and so there are not many very larger vertebrates are there. So by 60 million years ago, this separation between Africa, India and Madagascar were almost complete. From 16 million years ago, what we are seeing is like this. There is clear separation between South America, Africa, Madagascar and India. And as I told you that after 250 million years ago, maybe all these continents will be again united, and there is a strong possibility that is why now scientists like Elon Musk and another person is that the owner of Amazon, Jeff Bezos is the owner of Amazon. Their dream is that to take man to some other planet like Mars and build a habitat there, so that people will be some other people will be living there. Just like we are going to another country, after 50 years maybe people are going to Mars or other planets. So that is going to be a reality very soon. Then you can see that coming to the fauna or animals of Ethiopian region or Ethiopian realm, there is a very rich animal fauna. There is 161 type of terrestrial animals are there, and very high diversity of terrestrial vertebrates. Terrestrial vertebrates means land vertebrates. Then avian and amphibian fauna also exhibit similarity with what is this is the reason. See, avian means bird fauna as well as amphibian fauna, and they exhibit a strong similarity with the oriental region. The reason is that these two places were once together. It was the land connection between Africa and India for a long time that was mainly responsible for the similarity of Indian birds fauna as well as African bird fauna, and that similarity. For example, you can find Ureotyphus. Ureotyphus is a limbless amphibian. You may have studied in the last class in your museum also. You can find Ureotyphus. And these Ureotyphus like animals are also present in African region. Then peripatus is there. So many. Then if you take Indian fauna and African fauna, you can find lion. Lion is present in Africa, lion is present in India. You take elephant, one genus of elephant is present in Asia, another genus is in Africa. You take rhinoceros, then you take leopard. So many different type of animals are common to Africa as well as India. The reason is that there was a similarity between these two islands and connection between these two islands during the Gondwana period. And similarly, you can find lungfishes are there, cyprinoid type of fishes are there, cichlids. See, these are this is the first one is a lungfish, it's a very large fish. You can see, you can compare the size with the person, it's a very larger fish. Other one is a cichlid fish. Both are present in Africa as well as in India. Here you can find cyprinoids. These are mostly smaller fishes. Then osteoglossids, they are also present. Then coming to the amphibian fauna. Amphibian fauna is a very interesting. In the case of amphibian fauna, we have bufo. Bufo is a toad. Then there is another frog known by the name Xenopus. Xenopus is also present in African. Then coming to the tail amphibians, you can find salamander. This one is a salamander, and this one you are seeing is a Rhacophorus. Rhacophorus is popularly known by the flying frog because they are capable of slightly jumping from one plant leaf or one leaf to another leaf or from one branch to another branch. So that is why we call it by the name Rhacophorus. Then similarly, there is another type of frog called Hyla. This Rhacophorus is present in Kerala region as well as in many parts of the Western Ghats. Similarly, Hyla also you can find. But there are no salamanders, proper salamanders like this in India. There is a newt in some parts of India, in northern part of India, but we don't have any salamander in India. Then you can find reptiles of the Ethiopian region. Basically, these are the Trionyx testudo, these are freshwater tortoises. Then, and these are also present in chameleon. I think in the last class, I have shown you about the chameleon. Then coming to the snakes, you can find one important type of snakes that we can find in Africa is the rattlesnake. Now, rattlesnake, see, this is the, what is a rattle? And for young children, we will be using a shaking device that is a rattle. It is producing a sound. And this snake has a rattle-like structure at the end of its tail. When it is tapping on the soil, tapping on the ground, it will be producing a sound. And that sound is a warning to the enemies as well as prey to make sure to give them a message that I am poisonous, better move away or keep away from me. So many of the poisonous animals will be having this kind of tendency. They will be either very beautifully colored or very strikingly colored, or sometimes they will be producing some kind of warning messages. The purpose is that even though they are poisonous, they don't want to use it poison, because using poison is a very risky thing, because they cannot replace that poison easily. So that is why even though snakes are poisonous, they are not ready to bite, use that poison. And most of the time, sometimes even in the use of poison by snakes like cobra, they sometimes bite without injecting the poison. We call it a dry bite. So because poison is a very costly item for them, because once gone, it takes time to recreate the poison. So these are some of the important type of reptiles that you can find. Then birds are also, a lot of type of birds are also present in this of Ethiopian realm. We have Struthio. This is the most important type of bird, that is the this is common in Africa, Struthio camellias. Then many birds like hornbills, which are common in Kerala. Heron is the pigeons, parrots, cuckoos, are all present in African region, and then there are hammer-headed birds, mouse birds. These are some of these are the hammer-headed birds. This is the mouse bird. This is the hornbill. So these type of different types of birds are also present in Ethiopian realm or in African region. And coming to mammals again, these are mammals. What we are finding is a lot of very interesting type of map, like ape is a then Galeopithecus, gorilla, chimpanzee. So these are some of the more common type of mammals I will show you. This is the Galeopithecus, a flying type of mammal. They have a wing-like membrane here, and that is known by the name patagium. And using that patagium, it is able to fly or glide from one branch to another branch. Then this is a very very interesting, very shy mammal, and most of the time it will be very similar to our kuttithavan. You know what is a kuttithavan? It's a smaller type of animal, monkey that is present in Western Ghats in Kerala. Then there is another. This is a gorilla, very big animal, very gigantic animal. Then much taller than, much stronger than most of the other primates. Then in addition to then we have a lot of other type of animals like deer, pig, donkey, etc. So the most striking feature of this Ethiopian realm is that there is a lot of similarity between Indian animals as well as Oriental animals as well as the African or Ethiopian animals. Now we will see some of the